What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Lucrecio coming at you with another video. This video is about how far the New Orleans Pelicans can go this season. So the Pelicans are a very interesting team. It's kind of hard to really predict how well they're going to do this upcoming year. The big news of yesterday was that Rajon Rondo is now aboard, and then the narrative keeps shifting with Rajon Rondo. 1 minute people say he's not good and that he's washed up, he doesn't have game anymore, he's a dinosaur because he doesn't fit necessarily into today's game with where teams don't really want their point guard holding the ball most of the possession. They want the ball moving around the court, and then on top of that, people want their point guard to be able to make threes at a pretty good percentage rate, to be a really big threat from the three-point arc. So with that being the new wave of the NBA, people like Rondo, who aren't really good at either, he holds the ball a long time and he also doesn't shoot threes well. So people automatically assume, okay, well, the game has outpaced Rondo or whatever. He's no longer an elite level point guard in this league. Well, Rondo, people underestimate the ability, the basketball intelligence, and just the know-how that the game takes. Not necessarily particular skills, but just knowing how to win and knowing how to play the game and knowing effective ways to play the game. I think Rondo will still help this team out a lot. I mean, this theory was proven last year in the playoffs. Jimmy Butler, Dwayne Wade, Rondo, that backcourt or that combination of star players or whatever is not necessarily a good combination in today's NBA. None of those guys are really excellent three-point shooters. Both are kind of can be ball dominant. All can be ball dominant. But as we saw in the playoffs versus the #1 seed Boston Celtics, had Rondo not gotten hurt, many people believe they would have won that series because Rondo was just balling out, because he just knows how to play. He knows how to win. He knows how to exploit a defense's vulnerability. So I think Rondo will help this team out. Another thing, Rondo excels if you have, especially when you have multiple stars, when he's playing with multiple stars. We saw in Boston, he had, what, 4 stars or 3 stars on the team with him. He was outstanding in that situation, and it's coming to the same situation. Jrue Holiday, even though he's a point guard, he's a scoring type point guard. They're going to probably take him off ball and make him a weapon, offensive weapon. And then you have those two bigs, DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis, who many believe to be one of the best players in the NBA, a top 5 level player. So we'll see. But they're top heavy. Like, when I go through this roster, let's talk about this roster for a second. Alexis Ajinka, he's really big. He's not necessarily that good, but he's a really big center. They have Omar Asik, who's kind of a dinosaur too. He's a big center who's good on defense or whatever, good at protecting the rim and not necessarily much else. He's a liability from the free throw line. You have Quinn Cook. He's a point guard a lot of people love. He was a D-League guy. He's a point guard that a lot of people are infatuated with, saying if you just got a chance. I haven't seen a whole lot of him, so I really can't comment on Quinn Cook too much. We have Cousins, obviously a star. Jordan Crawford was having trouble staying in the NBA. He's a very good scoring guard, but a lot of people struggle to see what else he'll bring to that table offensively or defensively or whatever the case, other than scoring. But he can score. He's proven that in the NBA. Dante Cunningham, don't know a whole lot about him. Anthony Davis, like I said, top 5 talent. Diallo, I don't know how to say his name right. He's interesting. I remember him being a high school prospect, one of the big high school prospects. I haven't heard much of him in his career up to this point, so I'll have to pay closer attention. But yeah, maybe he's somebody who can become a big time contributor. We'll see. Solomon Hill. A lot of people are down on Solomon Hill because of the contract he signed last summer. Solomon Hill is a good contributing type player. Like, you don't want him to be one of your main players necessarily, but he, as a contributor, he is very solid. He's good. He can shoot. He can attack off the dribble a little bit. Once again, he's not like a star player or whatever, but as a role player, I don't see anything wrong with Solomon Hill. Now, if you want to pay him $70 million, that's up to you or whatever, but I think Solomon Hill is a solid enough NBA player. You have Drew Holiday. Now, Drew Holiday had proven that he was a, star. He's an all-star. He made an all-star team, and he wasn't, and that was on the Philadelphia 76ers team, so it's not like he was playing with LeBron and made an all-star game or anything like that. Drew Holiday is a very good player. He can score, he can facilitate, he can do everything you want from a point guard. He's very, very underrated in my opinion. Frank Jackson, not familiar with him. Etuan Moore. You have Monty Eunice. He played for the Rockets. He was a solid bench player. I don't know how much he's going to help. He's a floor spacer. He can shoot. He can shoot threes. He can even score a little bit inside. So he may be of some help, but the front line is not necessarily where they're lacking. Quincy Pondexter. I like him as a floor spacer, as a three-point shooter. He will need to be consistent. He will need to shoot that over 40% for the season to really help them or whatever create more space on the floor. But honestly, I've always liked Quincy Pondexter. You have Rondo, which we already talked about, and you have somebody named Axel Tupane, who I've never heard of in my life. Like I said, kind of like LeBron when he was talking about his team last season, this team is very top heavy. They have great players at the top of the team, and then it drops off. They 1 through 4, and then, or you could even say 1 through 5 if you want to put Hill in that category. But the talent drops off a lot, man. They're gonna have trouble. They're gonna really need to find a way to bolster that bench, make some trades or something. They need some solid bench contributors that can come off the bench and really keep the pace. Because what's gonna happen now? You have all these bigs or whatever. I understand. That's another thing. It's a couple things going on because Alvin Gentry is one of those D'Antoni guys. He's one of those guys who believe in free-flowing offense and getting up and down the court and focusing more on offense than defense. But with a team like this, is that when you have such a hollow bench, I don't even know how they're going to be able to maintain, a high-paced game like that. It's gonna be some trouble for them to figure. They're gonna have some struggles figuring it out how to make that work. They really need some trades, but to get some more talent in there, they just need more talent coming off the bench. They need to be consistent. You need consistent bench play, and I just don't see them being able to get that out of this unit. However, there is a silver lining. If they can get more talent in on that team, they may want to play around with the salary cap, see if they can get some veterans in there who probably make too much money, but who can actually contribute to that team's success. Get some guys in there and see if they can make that bench better to make that team more consistent. But I like their talent up top. I love the idea of having Anthony Davis, DeMarcus Cousins, and Drew Holiday on the team with Rondo. They're going to have trouble spacing the floor, but both of those bigs have range out to the three-point line. You don't really want them. You want them closer to the basket so they can dominate more so than further from the basket. But still, like I said, they can all shoot. Rondo can penetrate. Rondo can understand defenses. Rondo can facilitate for everybody. So it's something that could work. But adding Rondo to that team is not going to make all the difference. It's going to make some difference. The big difference that they're going to need to figure out is they need more bench depth to be able to be like a playoff team. But if they were to get it, the team could be very, very dangerous. Can be very dangerous. They could be very dangerous. Maybe pull off one of those bottom seeds in the Western Conference and see what they can do against the top seeds. But the key to that team is to fill out that bench. Then you need to get some solid role players, some shooting, a whole lot of shooting to go with those bigs and that Rondo. You need shooting and you need bench depth. To me, those are the keys for that team. They have a lot of big man presence. They're going to get a lot of easy baskets. They're going to get, with Rondo on that team, it's going to create a whole lot of opportunities for open threes. but you got to have guys that can hit them. All right, so if the question that I'm asking in this video is how good can the New Orleans Pelicans be this year, it's just dependent. It's dependent on what kind of weapons they can get on that bench and what kind of shooting they can fill the roster with. But if they can do those two things, I think they can be a playoff team and a very dangerous playoff team. All right. Let me know what you think. Leave your comments about Rondo, about the New Orleans Pelicans, how good you think they can be. Leave them all down there. And give the video a like if you like the video and subscribe. All right. See you next time.